Hello, fellow VFL football players. As a part of the media team, I'm here to welcome you to the very first VFL stock market show presented by XX Metal Addict XX. Every week, I'm going to be bringing you three teams that, if it was a real stock market, I'd tell you to buy, sell, or worth the risk. And I started out by pretty much who I think would be a buy this year. Right now, I'm liking the Houston Texans. I'd like to formally welcome back Matty Ice. I know I've told him this over Xbox. I know many of you have, but we all know what kind of happened with after season 3. So I'd like to have him back. Matt's a very good guy. He's always been a good friend to me, and I'm glad to see him back. I think he'd be a real asset to the team. He's gonna be a real great owner, and he's shown it. He's made some great trades after the draft, and I'd like to talk about some of those players. I think they could be key teams, and that's why I think you should buy the Houston Texans. Matty Ice, the former Pro Bowler, last year in season 3, the last year he played, he had 3,515 passing yards, 32 TDs, 26 interceptions, and at D-line, 86 tackles for a loss and 34 sacks. That's a very good player right there, and to have him be an owner and to make some trades for some other Pro Bowl type players with the Houston Texans, I mean, it's going to be a tough year for every team, but I think the Houston Texans are just going to have an easier time getting through this 12-game-a-week schedule. One of the bigger names he traded for was Hostility 1985, who in Season 3 had 3,522 passing yards, 36 TDs, 23 interceptions, 75 tackles for a loss, and 22 sacks. That is still a great player, better than almost anybody in the league. And another huge trade he made was for Falcon fan, who in season 3 went as Canes fan. As some of you would have known, he had 113 catches at receiver, 3,225 yards, 24 TDs, and 32 interceptions playing DB. You get those two playing together, and you get also key names like Wales 1991. I'm looking here, Murder Mitten Goon, C Money, Dean Hamilton. That's a stacked roster. It's pretty much like the Packers of the AFC. There's two teams out there that just look great on paper, but you know what? You don't win games on paper. You win it on the field, and I think this team's going to be the one that shows they win it on the field. I mean, like I said, stacked roster. I mean, it would be a safe pick. If you're going to invest all your money, I would be safe saying just put in the Texans. But you never know. There could be other sneaky teams out there in the AFC that come out there and prove people wrong. I mean, it happens every year. My one team I think I would probably sell is the New York Jets. I had them in season 4.0. I was the owner. If some of you didn't know. There's just some pieces on that team I just don't like. Mark Sanchez being one of them. He's one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks in Madden. You start getting on a cold streak with him, he's just keep missing passes. You pretty much have to throw quick slants or something safe 1 or 2 times before he actually hits his groove. He'll start making throws he should be making. For a low throw power quarterback, I've noticed he throws a lot of deep balls, overthrows people. I've seen personally he'll throw Plaxico Burress at 6'5". He'll throw Santonio Holmes, who's I think 97 speed. And one thing I see with that team is if they start doing bad in real life, start going on a cold streak, that's really going to hurt them. And as of now, I think they have one of the weakest team rosters Madden-wise. I'm not saying anything about the players, but Madden-wise. I think they got one of the weakest rosters, but you never know. But you don't know. I could be wrong. I know they have Revis. I know they have Camardi, but those safeties aren't great. The defensive line just gets reverse pancaked all the time. The linebackers are iffy. I mean, they're injury prone. And on offense, they lost Derek Mason to the Texans. So yeah, you're helping out Matty Ice there. And their halfbacks I've known are fumble prone. Sean Green's bad for it. If you like fast guys, Joe McKnight's bad for it. LT is good, but he just isn't as good as some of the other teams that have halfbacks. But some of their key players, like owner Steve Hawker, their GM Hasty Richardo is another good player. They got Mr. ATM, Misty Big Boy, and I wish all the luck to him, but honestly, I'm off the bandwagon. If there was one, I'd sell it there. My team that is worth the risk is the Oakland Raiders. They spent $10 million to franchise tag Fatal, which I think is an interesting thing. Spending half your money on one player, with 24 teams, I could see it happening because it's a lot less chance of you getting a guy named like him. But now it's down to 16. I'm not sure if the spending half your salary on one player is worth it, but you never know. To me, if there's one player that you had to franchise, would be Fatal. He's the only one I honestly think is worth the 10 million, even at that. Is any player worth half your salary? But you know what? They went out. They said, "I want Fatal," and they got him. And they actually got some good pieces behind him. Novo Fight, who I personally played with the Jaguars in season 3, $1 million. Put that in perspective, a Pro Bowl type caliber Novo, 1 million. Me, Metal Addict, I went for 1.5, and Novo's proven a lot more than I ever have. And Grandimus, who's a Pro Bowl type halfback, 1.5 mil. They went low. I really think they did. They could have went for a lot more, but honestly, it's probably better the team that they didn't. That means they have more money to spend on other people. And Jay Crazy, Oakland Raiders got Mr. Irrelevant. I'll go down the list and say he's not going to be irrelevant this year. Jay Crazy is my player to watch through this whole season. I personally see him rush for 3,300 yards, in a scrimmage, in a scouting game. I won't name the team, but I've been talking to him a lot, and he's been rushing. He says for over 150 on this every game. So for him, he's my player to watch this year. I'm very impressed, and I'd love to give a huge shout out to Jay Crazy. I mean, I'm proud he's made the change from man 11 to man 12. You wouldn't even recognize him. He's not the same halfback, and teams really need to watch out for him. Nebraska, they got him. I know he's a real good quarterback. So the Oakland Raiders have a good team. Now, if they go on a hot streak in real life, that's going to help them out even more. Get a better quarterback, Carson Palmer, in my opinion, than Jason Campbell. They have the fast wide receivers. Now they're bringing T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who's a good sure-handed slot wide receiver. They got the fast DBs, just like Houston. That's going to be a big help to them. I just like the team. They got a fast team, and if you match up on people's slow corners, you got to watch the deep ball. And even then, you got the wild card quarterback in Terrell Pryor. Who's going to use him? I know Fatal's used him before. I don't know if he's going to use him this year. But it's interesting. You got 3 quarterbacks, and you get to pretty much take your preference. Do you want a scrambler, or do you want 2 solid quarterbacks in Campbell and Carson Palmer? But yeah, that's pretty much the 3 teams: buying, selling, and worth the risk. Once the season gets on more, I'll be able to make more accurate guesses because I have a lot more stats to go off of. From Madden 11 to Madden 12, there's a huge change, so I'll be happy to see the season finally get off its feet and get past week 1. I really hope there isn't a restart again, but I think we'll be fine. I think we got good management with our teams. I think we got a group of commissioners that just want to help this league and want to see it grow. And that's going to be a great thing for this league moving forward on 5, 6, and 7th season. So thank you for watching. Hopefully my videos in the next couple of weeks won't suck. So I'm not the best video editor. I'm going to go into Microsoft Windows Movie Maker and try to make this thing at least halfway watchable. So hopefully in the next few weeks I'll get better at that and not make it so awful to watch. But thanks for watching, and I look forward to making a video again next week after the preseason. So thanks.